Aloha, everyone, and welcome back to the program. Now, the last time we saw each other, I told you that the Tedeschi Truck song Bound for Glory was good church music gone great. Now, I can't tell you from which direction the story of old John Henry comes from, but when played by Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee, I can assure you that is pure goodness. So go ahead, please like, subscribe, share, post a comment, because that too, well, that's just goodness as well. It's also just a shameless plug, and nothing wrong with that, right? Let's give it a listen.
Still gonna be the death of me. Well, that's still gonna be the death of me. Well, that's still gonna be the death of me. Well, that's still gonna be the death of me. John Henry was driving on the right side. Steam drill was driving on the left. Johnny said, before I let that steam drill beat me down, I will hammer my poor self to death. I will hammer my poor self to death. Yes, I hammer my poor self to death. I will hammer my poor self to death. John Henry was having on top of the mountain. Captain said, John, did you know that old mountain sinking in? Johnny said, shut up, Cap, you don't know what you said. That ain't nothing but my old hammer sucking wind. Well, it ain't nothing but my hammer sucking wind. Nothing but hammer sucking wind. Nothing but my hammer sucking wind. John Henry had a little bitty woman. Her name was Polly Ann. John Henry got sick, then he had to go to bed. Polly Ann, she grew still like a man. Well, oh, Polly Ann, she grew still like a man. Well, oh, Polly Ann, she grew still like a man. Well, oh, Polly Ann, she grew still like a man. Well, you know, Polly grew like this, you know. Tell me about John Henry now. Captain, he said to John Henry, bring my steam drill around. Bring my steam drill out on the chalk. Pop that steam on down. Whoa, Lord. Pop that steam on down. Pop that steam on down. Oh, boy. Pop that steam on down. John Henry, the captain. All right. Said a man ain't nothing but a man. Before I would let the steam drill beat me down. Woo! Die with this hammer in my hand. Oh, Lord, die with this hammer in my hand. He says, I'll die with this hammer, oh, Lord. Die with this hammer in my hand. John Henry looked down at his shaker. Shaker, why don't you pray? Like Mr. Steel with his mind down on the tomorrow could be your dirty day. Oh boy, tomorrow could be your dirty day. Said tomorrow, your better day it could be. Tomorrow could be your better day. He said, drive John like you never did before. But Steamville, buddy, ever beat us down, oh Lord. Won't happen, John. No more, oh Lord. Won't happen, John. May not never work, oh Lord. May not never work. Out of John's eye. John Henry drove steel on the southern. He drove steel on the cielo. He drove steel for that big red runner. Steel drive the steel down the road. Oh Lord, steel drive the steel down the road. Steel drive the steel down the road. Oh Lord, steel drive the steel down the road. Go ahead. John Henry on the mountain. Oh, that mountain was so high. Last words I heard that poor boy say, just give me a cool drink of water before I die. Give me a cool drink of water before I die. Just give me a cool drink of water before I die. Just give me a cool drink of water before I die. Just give me a cool drink of water before I die. Just give me a cool drink of water before I die. Just give me a cool drink of water before I die. Give me a cool drink of water before I.
There we have it, John Henry's Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee. Now, according to legend, of course, John Henry was a freedman, a free black man, born between 1840 and 1850. His job was to hammer steel drills into rocks, which were then filled with explosive to build railroad tracks and tunnels and stuff like that, I guess. Now, apparently, Mr. Henry was so good at his job that his skills were one day put to test against a steam-driven rock drill. Now, on this day, John Henry bested that machine, but died in the process. His hammer still in his strong hands. Apparently, John Henry's muscles were up to the task. Unfortunately, his heart was not. Now, John Henry has been the subject of countless blues songs and folk songs, books, TV shows, you name it. And why not? You know, it's a great story. It's man versus machine, the individual versus the corporation. It's a story of a black man, free in the time of slavery, but yet just free enough to die working at a brutal job. And I'm sure over the decades, John Henry has appeared on, a couple hundred union recruiting posters. Seems about right. Now, what drew Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee to the John Henry story? I mean, I have a pretty good guess. But what I can say for sure, and what you just saw for yourself, is that these were two world-class musicians whose 35-year partnership and their individual careers helped spread the Piedmont style of the blues really all over the world. Now, Sonny Terry was born in Greensboro, North Carolina in 1911. He lost his sight in two separate accidents, one at the age of 5 and then another when he was 16 years old. His father, like him, played the harp, and his father taught him some basics so the young Sonny Terry could just, earn some extra money. But it was right around 1934 when a young Sonny Terry was busking on the street corners in Durham, North Carolina, that he happened to meet guitarist Blind Boy Fuller. He and Fuller just kind of really hit it off, and they start performing almost on a daily basis. And it was during that time that Sonny Terry, got to correct that mistake. Sonny Terry developed his really energetic style of playing the harmonica, which he called whoopin'. You kind of saw it there. I think it's actually kind of cool. Really now, just 3 years later, 1937, it would have been, Sonny Terry played at John Hammond's famed Spirituals to Swing concert at Carnegie Hall. Now, originally, Blind Boy Fuller was supposed to play that concert, but apparently he was arrested for a shooting incident. So Sonny Terry took his place. So let that be a lesson for you kids. Now, Walter Brownie McGhee, he was born in Knoxville, Tennessee in 1915. His music career began when he left school to play guitar for his father's group, the Golden Voices Gospel Quartet. So again, lesson learned. It's not just the blues that can get you into trouble. He took up a life of a wandering bluesman and developed a really unique and interesting finger-picking style similar to his hero, Blind Boy Fuller. So somewhere right around 1940, Brownie decided to go up to Durham to meet Fuller, which he did, and of course that's where he got to meet Sonny Terry for the first time. Now, Sonny Terry, McGhee, and Blind Boy Fuller, they would play kind of off and on together, and Terry and McGhee start playing as a duet when Blind Boy Fuller was, playing elsewhere. When Blind Boy Fuller died of blood poisoning in 1941, Terry and McGhee recorded the song The Death of Blind Boy Fuller. I guess probably their first really big collaboration. Brownie, even for a short time, was convinced to appear as Blind Boy Fuller too. As I mentioned, that didn't last a long time. He didn't really like the idea of trying to make a career kind of impersonating his mentor. So he backed away from that. But Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee, they continued to play together, formed a really solid working relationship, and together they moved on to New York in 1941. Now, after World War II, the New York blues and club scene was just booming, and it was actually a very welcoming place as well. Sonny Terry and McGhee, they joined a club scene with other blues and jazz and folk artists that include the names like Woody Guthrie, Reverend Gary Davis, Josh White, Leadbelly, Lee Hayes, and Pete Seeger. It was just a really cool scene, and they got to hang out and play together with a lot of these legendary musicians. And Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee, they played together, and they played separately. They even acted. Sonny spent 2 years in a production of Finnegan's Rainbow. Brownie even longer as a cast member for Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Be talented. Now, by the 1950s, we talked about this before, there was a huge demand for folk and blues music, especially in the East Coast of the United States. And during that time, Sonny and Brownie really became household names because of this interest in American roots music. They cut a gospel album in 1957, and then they went and toured the UK, of course, when that boom started to happen as well. They then went on to record an album in London the following year. That would have been in 1958. They made a lot of television appearances, which took their music to the mainstream. And then they really got busy recording and issuing studio albums or live sets almost every couple months. Very popular they were in the festival circuits. The music festivals loved them because they had this really great mix of blues music and folk and gospel and protest songs. So it just worked whatever the format of the festival was. And they really toured the world throughout the 1960s as a headlining act. Now, despite their friendly on-stage act, as time went on, the two men really didn't get along so well. In fact, in their 1973 album, Sonny and Brownie, they bantered like good old friends, which of course at one time they were. But at that point, outside of the studio and outside of on stage, they barely talked at all. It finally came to a point where they would actually be billed together, but Sonny would play with a different guitar player and Brownie would just do a solo act. That duet would come to an end somewhere in the 1970s. Now, we lost Sonny Terry in 1986 and Brownie McGhee a decade later, but it'd be nice just to think that somewhere along in those last few decades that they found a way to mend some fences and just got together and, I don't know, just had one really good old school jam, I guess. I guess this program may be a little bit longer than some of the other ones, but I guess that's what chapters are for, right? You can just speed past the commercials just like you do on your television. But as always, I do appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share with friends and family. Just let me know how you're doing. We'll see you next time. I got motorcycle safety training this weekend, so it may not be till sometime next week till we get a chance to talk to again. But until then, be safe, and we'll see you again real soon, my friends. Y'all take care, all right?